Jambo, habari za jioni. Karibuni katika training yetu ya Camphill Academy Afrika. We welcome you all. So jambo, dear colleagues and fellow travelers on the path of education. Welcome to the introductory and opening session of the Camphill Academy Afrika Training Program 2025. A journey of humming with stories carried in the breeze, held by trees, whispered by soil. I thank you for stepping into this circle, into this rhythm, into this possibility. It is a joy and a privilege to welcome you to the opening of the Camphill Academy Afrika Training, an initiative grounded not only in transformative education, but in the soul of African wisdom. This training marks a beautiful converge. On one side, we have anthroposophy, a philosophy of human-centered development and healing. And on the other side, we embrace African values such as ubuntu, hekima, and akaresa, concepts that reflect the essence of humanity, lived wisdom, and inclusion through shared identity. Akaresa in particular calls us to embrace one another fully, to involve, include, and uplift. It meets anthroposophy not as a foreign idea, but as a familiar rhythm, reminding us that education must begin with the human being and extend outward towards community and service. We gather here today in this wonderful day with the purpose to learn, to connect, and to reimagine what inclusive social development looks like across Africa. We recognize the history we step into, how colonial education once separated us from our own knowledge system, and how pre-colonial Africa education thrived through storytelling, apprenticeship, communal rituals, and wisdom shared by elders. This program is a step towards restoration and renewal, towards an education that is not imposed, but rooted, not extractive, but nurturing, not foreign, but familiar. We begin. May this training be a space of reflection, co-creation, and empowerment. Together, we carry forward a vision that honors tradition while cultivating future possibilities. Welcome to a journey of inclusive transformation. Just to remind, in African cosmology, we do not learn alone. We learn with ancestors, with community, with land. This understanding of ubuntu, our shared humanity, is not abstract. It is alive in every gesture of care, every moment of listening, every child's wonder-filled gaze. The child in African thought is sacred. They arrive carrying gifts from the spiritual world. Our work is to welcome those gifts, not shape the child in our image, but allow the image they carry to bloom. Here today we gather not as experts, but as witness to growth, to mystery, to presence. Anthroposophy offers us the lens of development through rhythm, imagination, and embodiment. But what happens when Steiner meets Hekima? When spiritual science harmonizes with African wisdom? We begin to see that every child is a being of light becoming rooted, that our work is less to instruct and more to accompany. We meet the fourfold human being: the physical, the etheric, the astral, and the I, not in the textbook alone, but in songs, in dances, and ritual of passage. The anthroposophical child is a dreaming in and inward at age of 3. The African child is encircled by community, story, and land. In this program, we will explore how this truth complement, deepens, and enlives with each other. In the Camphill Academy Afrika, Akaresa is not just a concept, it is a living principle that shapes how anthroposophy is taught, practiced, and adopted for African communities. It is about making spiritual development relevant, inclusive, and empowering. So let me take you through a bit of the history of Camphill Academy Afrika. How was it born? The journey of Camphill Academy Afrika began not with policy or paperwork, but with a dream, a vision deeply rooted in the soil, the soul, and the spirit of Africa. It was a yearning to cultivate a truly African-based world of inclusive education, one that honors the genius loci, the secret essence of our land, our people, our animal, plants, and minerals. This impulse was first stirred in a moment of grace. 2 women, strangers until they shared a seat at a workshop, recognized each other not merely as kindred spirits, but as long-lost soul sisters. Reunited by a divine currency, they saw the shape of a shared destiny, a mission to awaken African wisdom through education. In beautiful synchrony, this same pause was felt in Rwanda, where 3 brothers from America and Africa came together with a mirrored aspiration. Though their path had been separated, their hearts were aligned, each carrying a piece of the same cosmic blueprint. From that converge of souls, 8 flames across nations, a movement was born. Not simply a training program, but a living impulse to weave anthroposophy with Africa wisdom and create an academic journey that does not impose, but merges organically from African realities. Dear friends, today Camphill Academy Afrika stands as a testimony to unity, intention, and ancestorial guidance. It is more than an initiative. It is a homecoming for those called to serve humanity through healing, inclusion, and transformation rooted in African cultural soil. So we are a consortium of African and international partners working under the Camphill Academy's continuing education program, focused on anthroposophical training, a philosophy rooted in human-centered education and healing tailored to African context. Aim to support professionals that you are here in this room in early childhood education, vocational training, inclusive community building, and social agriculture. We are a partner of Camphill Community Trust Botswana, Mwanangu Development Tanzania, Ubumwe Community Center Rwanda, Center of Anthroposophy in the USA, and Camphill Academy USA. And to end, on behalf of those who walked before us, whose footprints still echo in our mission, and those whose spirits remain kindled by our work, we thank. To the pioneers who dreamt this into being, to the participants who now carry the flame, and to the generation yet to rise, you are the heartbeat of this vision. With gratitude to our partners, donors, colleagues, and friends, we stood beside us and say, yes, this must live. You helped shape a legacy born not of hustle, but of timeless purpose manifesting swiftly. May this be more than a milestone. May it be a seed of transformation, a beacon for inclusion, a song sung by many voices in the soul of the African continent. May this be our gift to the future. Asante sana.